Welcome to the Madison City Channel's Know Your Candidates interviews, co-sponsored by the League of Women Voters of Dane County. I'm your interviewer, Marilyn Townsend, and I would like to introduce Scott Kerr, who's running for Mayor of Madison. As we begin, Scott, I'd like you to give an opening statement about the educational, vocational, and civic experience you have, which qualifies you for this office, and why you are running for mayor.
Thank you. I've been a City of Madison resident my entire life. I've been employed by the City of Madison for over 42 years. So I understand the workings of the city fairly well, and I just want us to do better. I think we can improve on so many fronts, and I just believe that the way we've been going the last couple of years is not helping us.
What actions or programs would you propose or support to enhance public safety in Madison? And in particular, what is your position on the use of body cameras by Madison police officers?
I believe body cameras would be a great asset for the public and the police department. It takes all of the questions about what happened at a scene out of the realm of he said, she said, and puts it in clear evidence. I would like to keep more officers on the street. One of the ways to do that is to stop using uniformed patrol officers to do the mental health evaluation transports to Winnebago County. We can perform that with a team similar to the Kerr's team, where the individual in a mental health crisis is put in a more comfortable vehicle with a mental health professional and a driver, so that if their condition deteriorates on the ride, there's someone with them that can help. It would be helpful for the officers to stay on the street and helpful for the individual in crisis.
What do you see as the right steps to address homelessness and housing security in Madison?
The tough question. Housing security, we have to hold our taxes down so people don't get taxed out of their homes. Homelessness, we have a number of agencies and programs in place now that we can expand, but also I don't want to saddle private development with making additional low-income housing unless they take public funds for their projects. And if they take public funds, then they would have to exceed what the zoning requirements are for their building as far as cost on all units.
What do you see as the most important environmental issues the city needs to address? What will be your priorities for city action on these issues?
Reducing our use of non-renewable energy. So if we can expand our solar energy programs, get more of our energy from wind, and use more electric vehicles. The city fleet has already expanded that dramatically. I think we can do better and expand that even further. The rest of the environment, Madison is already doing a pretty good job on protecting the lakes, but we can always improve that.
What, if anything, do you think the city should be doing to support economic development?
We do have an economic development program that helps get businesses started. We hopefully will have a couple of facilities as incubators if the First Street Garage ever gets converted into that marketplace. And we can give tax breaks to get people started. But I don't want to get to the point where city funds or taxpayer dollars are being used to start private businesses. There'd have to be a trade-off and a payback for the system.
What do you see as the most critical racial disparities that the city needs to address? And what would you propose to reduce those disparities?
The most distressing disparity is the outcome in our education system. And unfortunately, I don't see an avenue for the city to directly impact that. Certainly, we could institute some programs to help students that are suffering or having a hard time in school. But it's the school system that we need to get to deliver a better product in the end. And I don't see a way from the city's standpoint to impact that dramatically. The rest of the city, we do a good job on racial equity for hiring. We have got racial equity and social justice training available to all employees. We're working on it. The biggest one I really hope we could get corrected would be the education disparity.
What other priorities do you have for the next 4 years that we have not yet touched on?
Budget savings and being more responsive government. So setting up a system for City of Madison residents to let us know what they want and to weigh in on issues before the city. Instead of forcing anybody that wants to be heard to sit through a council meeting, I'd like to have a polling system set up so that it be done online and you wouldn't need to take time out of your day to go downtown and wait for the council meeting to go through. Once we collect the polling data, I'd want that available to the council as well as available to the public so that people can see that when we make a decision, it was supported by the majority of the city that was polled and wanted to contribute their ideas on it. That could be anything on expenditures, that could be changes to Metro, and it would certainly be any major expenditures that the city proposes. I'd want the city at large to be able to say, we made a joint decision before we start spending a lot of money.
What would you like to say to the viewing audience as we complete this interview?
Well, my candidacy is a little different than everybody else's. I am not accepting, nor am I asking for donations. So I am running this in an attempt to take money out of the politics. I am extremely low budget, but I will show up for any venue, any conference, any forum to speak to anybody and answer any questions. You can reach me through my website, which is Kerr, 4, mayor.com, or s.kerr, 4, mayor@gmail.com. And I'll do my best to respond to all of your questions.
I want to thank Scott Kerr for speaking with us and the viewing audience for taking the time to know your candidates. I want to remind everyone that primary election day is Tuesday, February 21st, and the general election is Tuesday, April 4th. As with every election, please vote. On behalf of Madison City Channel and the League of Women Voters of Dane County, thank you for joining us.